Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
I think I'm going to get back into scrunchies.
Ooh, I love this development for you.
And it's not just because I have curly hair.
Sure.
And it's not just because I was born in the 90s.
Right. Yeah.
But I think I miss having stuff on my wrists.
Yeah, I think scrunchies are cute, A, because they are practical and that they can hold your hair, but also they're a fun little bracelet that doesn't hurt your wrist, you know?
They are a fun little bracelet. And it's something that I can't have Armstrong bracelets anymore, you know?
Right.
Like,
Definitely
I just
not.
can't.
I think we missed the window on that.
I can't go back to having, like, 16 bracelets on my wrist anymore.
Well, you don't want to rock an I Heart Boobies bracelet anymore? You don't want to bring
Christ.
that back?
I had both the bracelet and the lanyard.
I had the bracelet and I got these at Warped Tour for free, which is the worst sentence I've ever said. But I had the bracelet and they also had rings, but it was like the double ring where it was like two fingers across the knuckles that said the same thing. And I wore that unironically for like a year in high school.
Oh, God. There were so many of them. Like,
I know.
Both the Armstrong bracelets and the, like, jelly bands.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I just can't go back to, like, I can't do those, right? Because
right.
They're not cool anymore.
No.
I wouldn't even know where the fuck to find them.
Right.
And I don't want to have, I can't have that many things on my hands anymore. It's like too stimulating. But scrunchies I can.
Right.
Because I lose hair ties all the time.
Totally.
And so if I start on my hand every day with like 3 scrunchies, I will end up at the end of the day with none scrunchies. It's like a math problem.
Yeah. If I was just today with a million scrunchies, how many will she have by the end of the day? 0. None.
0.
Every time. Every time.
The answer is 0. I don't know how.
Right.
But the answer is always 0.
But that is the laws of physics.
Right.
That's how that works.
Welcome to Into the Twilight.
Into the scrunchies.
Into the scrunchies. Hey, we're like cool.
Yeah. I was going to make some online purchases in the middle of recording.
I'm going to go onto Etsy and get some like really cool scrunchies that say I love boobies and God is love.
Yes. To reclaim it, make it.
Right, exactly. Cody, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. You know why?
Great. Why?
I am recording this from a desk.
Oh my God. Yes,
because I have a desk now.
Everyone, wherever you are, just clap once for Cody. Ready? 1, 2. Are you ready? No, you need to put your hands out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go. There you go. Claps
just
for Cody.
That one sonic clap shatters the
Cody,
whole
did you
world
feel
on
the
Monday.
world shake? When you are listening back to this on Monday, if you feel the world suddenly boom, it's for you.
Thank you. So I'm a desk bitch now. I have a desk. I built it.
I'm so proud of you.
I mean, I bought
it. You built it?
I bought it, but I built it. I put it together.
Oh my God.
I did buy it, but I didn't buy like a fully already made desk.
I can't believe you assembled a desk.
Oh, I've assembled most things. My bed I totally made by myself.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I don't want to fucking pay a bitch $70 or whatever to do it for me. And I don't have a car to move things that are already built, so.
You know what? I guess I should have known that about you. You do, like, thrift stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I should have known.
Yeah.
You were, like, an assembling kind of person.
Thank you. But it's cute as fuck, and I love it, and I can now sit at a desk and do my job.
I'm so proud of you. What a glow up from going to, like, one screen to to being able to learn you could share on your TV.
Yeah.
To now having a desk.
It's really been a transformational year.
I remember, I'm getting so emotional. I remember when you used to record this in your closet.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're such a professional now.
We're out here, you know?
Wow.
We're making moves.
Now, here's the real question. I don't want you to
Yes.
get embarrassed, but do you have a chair?
I do have a chair.
Okay.
It doesn't have a back, but it's a chair that I've already...
Okay. I know some people like to stand, but...
Listen. That's... No. That's not
Yeah.
my lifestyle.
Listen, I don't get those people. I feel like they're always faking it.
Yeah.
Like, they always say it's because they have a bad back. I have a bad back too, bitch. I don't see how standing helps.
How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just living. School's back in session.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just, like, surviving or whatever. So, listen, I know that you all get tired of me doing this, but I'm a visual learning kind of person. I included a photo in our show notes this week from Fleabag.
Yes.
Of my favorite sister, my second favorite sister from Fleabag.
Yeah.
Listen, if you say that your favorite character from Fleabag is not the hot priest, you're lying.
Yeah. Come
let's
on.
just be honest. But Fleabag's sister is great, and I included the infamous photo
The best haircut ever made.
of the best haircut. And I felt like this was a really great visual representation of me over the past week when I have been trying to come to terms with getting diagnosed with ADHD.
Yeah.
Because I'm, like, really happy with it. Because it makes a lot of sense.
Right.
But I'm also like, whoa, what happened? Like, is that why I'm funny? And I, like, laugh about it, but also, like, it feels like this haircut to me.
Yeah, right. Like, wait a minute. Hold on. I gotta reassess a lot of stuff
I wait a
now.
minute, but then I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh no.
I thought I would, I worked so hard to get the diagnosis and I spent a lot of time making sure this could happen. And I thought after that we'd be good. But now I'm like, wait a minute. There's some stuff here that I now have to sit with forever.
I keep doing the thing that's, like, very typical for fucking neurodivergent people where I'm like, but what if I was just, like, trying to pressure that guy into making me think I was ADHD the whole time. And I'm like,
right.
Shut the fuck up. Like,
yeah.
Stop it. He asked you he said hello, and then you talked for 20 minutes and you didn't let him shut it. Like, anyways, which is essentially, like, this whole podcast. Like,
yeah.
which is fine, because, like, Cody doesn't like to be emotional on this anyways. So, like, it works out for the both of us. But, like, anyways. This photo just felt like a great representation. I have it on my, like, memes album on my phone, and so it's great.
Just print a photo out.
I'm just going to
Hang it
tape it. I'm just going to tape it on my mirror in my bathroom and just look at it every day. Just to reflect on.
Absolutely.
And just think about. Yeah. We have a couple of current events this week. Not a lot, just a few.
A nice little scattering of
Just
news.
Just an amuse bouche.
Yes.
Just a little treat. The first one is a little bit. Listen, we're starting out strong.
Yeah.
It's a little. We got a little bit of Dakota Johnson news.
Ooh, we're back, baby.
For us here. And our favorite person in the world, Dakota Johnson, has shared that she took some souvenirs, some might say,
Yeah.
from the 50 Shades of Grey franchise when she was all done.
Good for her.
100%. I completely agree.
She deserves it.
She completely deserves it, and I would have done the same thing.
Right.
If I was her.
Because, like, what else are they going to do with it? You know what I mean?
What? They're not going to put it in a museum.
Right.
They wouldn't show that to the public.
Could you imagine if they did, like in the style of the A24 auction where it's like, oh, yeah, we're doing it for charity. Like, our props from our favorite movies. And it's just, like, all of the sex toys from 50 Shades of Grey.
This touched Dakota Johnson's butt. Like,
yeah.
I honestly, they might. They might, but I don't know that they would.
Yeah.
I mean, they might, just because they wouldn't put it they wouldn't put that stuff in a museum.
Right.
And if they put it in a vault, where would it go?
Yeah.
They're not going to use that stuff. Anyways, this is from, I want to say Laren.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, great.
It's objectively one of the scariest websites you've made me click on throughout this ordeal.
It does not look very credible.
Yeah.
I will say that. They have chosen a very pixelated version of Dakota Johnson to use, which is rude because she is beautiful.
Yeah.
But in this photo, she looks like that, I want to say Victoria, the name of the robot that looks like a human.
Oh, Sophia.
Thank you.
Yes.
Which does not do her justice.
Yeah.
In this article, it is saying that she stole a flogger as well as underwear as souvenirs from this. And honestly, if the underwear fit her, why the hell not?
Yeah. The underwear, for sure, like, unless you're selling it on a, under some shady circumstances, which, like, do your thing. If Dakota wants to do that, that's great. 100%. I don't want the studio behind 50 Shades of Grey anywhere near that transaction.
I agree.
That's her right.
Otherwise, they're just going to trash them. So she might as well use them at that point. Yes. And the flogger, she's going to use it. I don't know if Chris Martin's going to use it, but great. Listen, I don't have much to say on this just because it's like, I wholeheartedly believe that a lot of, at least the main cast, definitely do this, especially for series of, or sagas of movies.
Right.
So, go off.
Yeah, do your thing.
What would you have taken from this series?
Oh, God. I'm trying to think of any fun prop.
I would have taken the Xbox.
Oh, duh. The sex Xbox? The sex box?
The sex box?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. There was one thing that was like a vibrator that he grabbed from what seemed like 40 feet away. And there were no cuts in that. I feel like that would have been just for the history of it, the symbolism.
Right.
Its place in the movie. Fabulous.
I know that it always has to be something that's not necessarily personal,
right.
But something that's inconspicuous. Otherwise, I would definitely have taken the piano.
Yes.
Just for the bit, because how would you have gotten a piano out of there? But, Dakota Johnson, go off.
Go off.
And Jamie Dornan, definitely tell me what you took, because it was probably a white shirt that he could have gotten anywhere, and he just forgot to give it back.
One tie.
Yeah. Just a plain black-ass tie.
Yeah.
100%.
Amazing.
The next piece of news that we have is from good ol' Showbiz Cheat Sheet.
Amazing. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Still not sure if this piece was by a bot or by a person, because it still seems to be a gamble with this site, but sure. And this is just a reminder for us that with the Twilight Saga, there are some scenes that Stephenie Meyer did not agree with.
Ooh.
Specifically, in this case, one in Eclipse that Stephenie refers to was not like Bella at all. And this one, this is referring to specifically when Bella finds out Edward lied to get her to go to Florida to see her mom.
Yes.
And Jacob shows up, because of course he does.
Right.
And she decides to say, of course I'm going to go see Jacob, because screw you, Edward.
That's my boy.
That's my boy, Jacob. And I'm going to go see him. And Stephenie says, that's really rude to Edward.
Right.
And not really like her.
Sure.
Which is, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, Stephanie has written a very sympathetic Jacob in a
I
lot
agree.
of it. I feel like it's not.
I think especially because she was trying to change it more so on Bella's comments to Jacob, trying to make them seem more kind and less assertive. Because Jacob hadn't been calling her during that time. And she didn't want Bella to get in his face and be like, hey, you didn't fucking call me back, dude.
Why can't we all just get along, you know?
Right. And she wanted Bella to be more like Switzerland during that time. Whereas Bella would have been more like, get in his face, even though he is described as being 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
And she is not that. So, you know what? Screw it. Screw it. That's not who Bella is. So, it's fine. We do have another piece of news here. Would you like to share that and get us back to Screen Rant Corner?
Ooh, welcome back. Pew, 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 pew. Screen Rant. We got some Twilight controversy, baby. Old controversy. This is nothing is new. Nothing is relevant. This is
just taking us back.
People are like, hey, remember this when this happened? And here it is our moral obligation to also remind you that this did happen.
We back.
We back with the long-standing controversy around Taylor Lautner's / Jacob's tattoo.
We back.
We back. Remember this? That was fun. That was a fun time for discourse and appropriation and, you know?
Listen, this tattoo is rough. And this whole situation with Taylor in general and the Twilight team disrespecting I guess I shouldn't say just the Twilight team. I should say Stephanie, rather, and put the blame where it goes. Taking advantage of the Quileute history and the Quileute nation is fucking ridiculous and racist. Just call it what it is.
Yeah, right.
Because of the fact, if I remember right, doesn't this say that they had, like, hired someone, they'd hired an artist for the tattoo?
Right.
Is it Lesda Snowden?
Yeah.
It says borrowed. They plagiarized.
Gently lifted.
They plagiarized the tribe's style for the tattoos.
Right.
Without giving them credit. So it was their intellectual property. They'd plagiarized them.
Yeah.
Hasn't Stephanie been saying the whole time that it's fictional, but it's not. It's the Quileute history.
So you're actually lifting something from something that already exists,
right?
Remixing it and then putting it in, and also selling it as merchandise. Like that design was on shirts, and like there was like a necklace or some shit. Like there was a whole bunch of shit with that little crest tattoo thing on it, and they were making bank from it.
Of course they were, without giving any sort of compensation.
But there's no relation. It's just my fantasy. Like, what? Yeah. Bitch, come on.
It is one of those things where it's like, we're just going to have someone design this. And it's just like, fuck off. Like,
yeah.
We're going to pretend this is fictional. It's aggressively not. Like, this is not new news. But because of the fact that this is being brought up, like this Screen Rant thing was posted 4 days ago. This is just a reminder that, like, because of the fact that our podcast is based off of this content, like, it is an obligation to remind you that, like, just because we talk about this does not mean that we condone it. Like,
right. No, for sure. Yeah. We've got to be pretty clear about that.
Yeah. I want to make that a continuous reminder for folks that are listening, especially because, like, I feel like I see constantly that people are listening to these, that they'll just, like, start on the newest episode. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
And it's like, I just want to remind you that, like, we talk about Stephanie's work in everything that we do here. Right. We don't support her work. Like, no. We are viewing her work from an incredibly critical lens here.
Yeah.
We laugh and joke about her work, but that is what cognitive dissonance is, right? Is holding that, like, truth that we can laugh about all of these things while also acknowledging that, like, this work is racist as shit.
Yeah.
Like, and not supporting that, too. That's media literacy, folks. In its most basic level. So for folks that are just coming in, I just, like, I don't know, just a reminder that, like,
for sure.
We can talk about this stuff, but, like, we don't, that's why we constantly yell Stephanie's name. Like,
Yes.
That is a constant reminder that, like, we don't, hey,
Yeah.
knock it off.
Right.
Like, God, she pisses me off sometimes. Like, it just makes me angry.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, that very much ties into our next, our first listener email. Would you like to read it, please?
Absolutely. This is from our mom, Kelly
Our
Beck,
mom.
who writes, I got this email from Amazon and thought you'd enjoy it. Of note, why is literary phenomenon in quotes? And this is a screenshot recommending to buy Twilight with a coupon, a $5 coupon, which is fun. It says, fall in love with the addictive, suspenseful love story between a teenage girl and a vampire with a book that sparked a, quote-unquote, literary phenomenon and redefined romance for a generation. Wow.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Great.
Kelly Beck.
Yeah.
Who I continue to learn information of in just, like, the smallest amount of tidbits.
Yeah.
Who, last time that we talked, I found out was an RN.
Right.
And then this week I learned just was dealing with the incredibly awful, like, ice and snowstorm in the South.
Oh, shit.
This past week. So, like, fuck, Kelly.
Yeah. Kelly, are you
Take care of
good?
yourself.
Yeah.
And your small children, and also your like, goddamn, Kelly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Kelly, are you okay?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another email here that is very important to me. It says, hello. Last year, when the Mike Newtons hit, my roommates and I re-entered our Twilight phases. Hey, welcome. I especially dove back into it. I stumbled upon your podcast last fall and binged my way through the episodes while rereading the books and forcing my boyfriend to rewatch the movies with me. Hey, I know how that goes.
Yeah.
Going to college during a Mike Newton sucks. I bet it does. So escaping with a story that is distractingly trashy and fun. You could describe our podcast as distractingly trashy.
Honestly, new merch. Distractingly
trashy. We're,
Bumper stickers.
Hey, Fiona, can we use distractingly trashy?
Yeah. TM.
And fun has been my self-care method of choice. Your podcast has helped me process my feelings of, holy shit, what was I reading at 13? While still being able to enjoy this bit of escape. Thank you so much for everything you do. Oh, Fiona.
Cute.
Shut the fuck up. That was really nice. Anyways, to the subject of my email. I noticed on occasion you guys would say the phrase, mark that off your bingo board.
Oh
so I made you a bingo board based on all the things relating to the Into the Twilight brand. I hope you enjoy it.
No fucking way.
So if you could, please click on this email and take a look at the bingo board that Fiona made for us.
Stop it. This is the cutest shit I've ever seen. Fiona.
Fiona said to keep their name anonymous, but I refuse. I refuse.
We have to let Fiona get the credit for this. This is beautiful. What?
It's so cute, right?
Oh my god.
One of my favorites right off the bat is when it says, do you want to discuss this week's chapters? No, not really.
Yeah. This is so good.
Oh my god.
I love that you get a square just for putting on your tinfoil.
Literally. the god and the goddess. Oh my god. Fiona, this is so accurate. Like,
yeah.
I cannot tell you how thorough this is, how well researched this is.
Yeah.
It makes me, this is, as someone whose love language is acts of service, this makes me love you. Like,
yeah,
welcome to the family.
Beautiful. And just like the design of it, it is
The
so
design?
cute. We will put this fucking everywhere. So
Everywhere.
if you're listening to this, you will be able to see it and play along at home. But like, holy shit, I've never seen something so beautiful in my life.
Bella literally dies.
Edward's behavior is explained by being a Gemini. Incredible.
Oh my God.
So good.
Fiona.
This is so good.
Fiona.
Come
oh
on.
my God. I could just sit here and just, like, my jaw is dropped.
Yeah.
I am just obsessed. Thank you from
you
the
so
bottom of my empty heart.
Yes. The black pit that's in my soul.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Okay, this is the last thing I'm going to say, I promise.
Yeah.
There is a section talking about how much I hate birds, and then there's also a section about being afraid of something other than birds. Like, I feel
Just a wide
so
swath.
called out.
Oh my God.
Fiona, I feel like you have looked into my soul.
Yeah.
And I feel so exposed, but I also love you.
I feel very seen, maybe more than I would like.
Okay. For
Wow.
once, I do want to talk about the chapters just because...
There's some exciting stuff that happens here. And
Okay, literally, this always happens with Stephanie. She's like, hey, so now that we're like halfway through the book, do you want stuff to happen now?
Yeah. What if we got a little buck wild? Can we do that?
What if in one of our chapters, we talk about Cheetos and bloody noses?
Hear me out. What if God was one of us? Mark that off
Stop,
your bingo card,
Cody.
baby.
When we last left off, Jared metaphorically kicked through the door of the cave
Yeah.
and was like, where is that alien? I need to kill them.
Yeah.
And Jeb said no. And so Jared, like the Shakespearean man that he is, started crying.
Yeah.
And Wander started crying. And then everyone started crying.
Yeah.
And it became a mess. And that is where we left off. But now, Wander has now run away back into their prison hole, which sounds more sexual than it is.
Right. Actually, the opposite of sexual.
It is the most asexual thing that you could imagine.
Absolutely.
It only becomes sexual when Wander starts, like, feeling around, and there's, like, crunches and crackles, and, like, they, like, fall into boxes that aren't boxes, and realizes there's, like, rice, and then Wander has this epiphany and is like, oh my God, somewhere in here there could be, like, non-perishable food.
Right.
Like peanut butter.
Like fun stuff.
Like cookies. Or chips. And then Wander's like, oh my God. And Stephanie does her thing where she italicizes stuff and she's like, Cheetos.
It is so horny. And this is where I'd like to take a brief moment to, like, catch you up on the old audiobook situation.
Please.
Because the way this woman says Cheetos, I recorded it. I will play it for you because
Please,
I cannot
please.
recreate it for you. It is that good.
on
But
the
I
other
get,
side.
I didn't even need to know it was italics. I could just know from the passion in her voice. Let me fucking get my volume up here. This might be loud. Who's to say? All right, here we go.
Cheetos.
Oh my God.
It is awful. I had
That's
to,
like phone sex.
I couldn't believe it was real, and I just kept going back and re-listening to it, being like, that was the final one we landed on for the Cheetos line read. That was it. That was the one we said was good.
Was the note on that to sound like nutting? Like, what was that?
I want you to feel like if you eat a Cheeto right now, you will come instantly, and I want to hear that in your voice.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's how the audiobook's going, in case you wanted a little update.
Oh my God. That was like Chester was in the room, like, say my name. Like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
Like, oh no. Oh no!
Yeah, big bad bear right there. I don't like
I
any of that.
hated that.
Didn't like any of that.
God, I keep forgetting that you were listening to the audiobook because I hate everything about that so much. Especially because there is a lot in these chapters where there's consultations with Melanie. There's a lot of the italics. And so if that's what's going on,
Right.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that person's italics voice.
Yeah. No.
I don't like it.
Mm-mm.
I'm very sorry. I'm sorry
okay.
for you.
I'm sorry I had to show that to you and everyone else listening, but you had to feel my pain.
I'm sorry to our listeners' families. I'm sorry to a lot of people in here. There's a conversation here with Wander and Melanie of like, okay, so we are in the pantry, essentially. What the hell do we do now?
Mm-hmm.
And there's this kind of like conversation between them of like, should we stay or should we go? The clashes are like the clash is there too. That's like, what do we do? And they ultimately decide like we should stay. This is something that I found really interesting. Ultimately, like it is Wander that we're primarily listening to, but I am surprised with Melanie in there that there was no thought of like we're in their food place. Let's just stay here. Like, Jared's not gonna take the risk of, like, fucking with me. Not when I'm in this place that, like, he just worked his ass off to get all this food. Like, I just found that so weird that it was like...
Right.
Why would I risk going outside with no resources when I can just stay here and be like, I am your bargaining chip, not just to information, but, like... I have all your food, dude.
Right. So,
like,
sorry.
Like,
hold the cards here.
Yeah, like, I have all the cards. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Anyways, I just found that was weird that, like, that wasn't even a consideration on here.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, we're gonna go down fighting. Cool. Ultimately, there wasn't much of a conversation that could happen because Jamie comes, gangly, voice-cracking teenager, is like... Ah, sister, right. I just imagine him like all limbs,
right,
all crackling vocal cords. He is very pure though, because he's like, I'm not leaving. I'm gonna get mats and pillows, and everyone is out looking for you. I don't care what Jared does. I'm gonna kick his shit in. Don't worry about it. And it very much comes across like, I don't know how you interpreted it, but I very much got the sense of like, it's not going to come to a pass tonight.
Right.
Just because Stephanie is very, like, going to take her time.
Yeah, gotta build up the tension, baby, you know?
Yeah. But then I was wrong because, of course, I'm wrong with Stephanie. And Jared, of course, is, like, this big fucking bear of a man. Is like, roar. I'm trying to be quiet because I don't want to, like, blow your ears out. But he's like, roar. And that's kind of what he is. He's like, for the most part, like all bark, no bite.
Right.
I say that, but he does like grab Wanda and like throw them against the wall. Like,
right.
And like bruise the shit out of them. This conflict for the most part though is like very Jared in the sense that it's like, not that it's fake, but it's very like, I think of it as like a movie bully. And it's just totally. Like, it's like an intimidation tactic. Like, it's not actually gonna do anything.
Right.
It's just in a, like,
it's just wasting time. And just, like, we're not gaining anything from this. It's just them being like, well, I'm better and cooler than you. And it's like, no, me.
Instead
and
of
they
Jared...
just stare off at each other.
Yes. Instead of Jared actually taking time to communicate.
Right.
And actually trying to see what Jamie is getting at, especially with someone like Jamie who is very clearly like an emotional person, and Jared is trying to be this like pseudo parental figure. He's going at this from like a very confrontational way, which does not work with Jamie's communication style.
Yeah, for real.
Jared's like, instead I'm gonna throw this person that you care about up against the wall, which He's tried before and it didn't work. But this time, apparently, like, Jamie wants nothing to do with it because Jamie punches him once, but enough to actually stop because it sounds like he has, like, broken Jared's nose. And it's unclear on here, but it's very much one of those things where it's like a one and done, where Jared's like, oh my god, like, you broke my nose. Rude.
Hey.
It's, to me, it gives off the vibe of, like, if you, like, bopped a cat on the nose and they're like, oh my god, and then they, like, run away. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe you've done this. And they just, like, run away. Anyways, Wanda's, like, understandably very confused. Jared, very confused.
Yes.
Jamie is very upset and also runs away. There's a lot of confusion.
Yeah. Everyone's going sideways. They're all running. They're
all
being upset.
running. And ultimately, by the end of the chapter, Wanda, like, lies down on the bag of rice and just, like, conks out. And it's like, this has been incredibly overstimulating. I can't do this. I gotta blast. Gotta go.
Yeah.
This has been too hectic of a day. When we end up getting to chapter 28, it seems like both Wanda and Jamie, who ended up coming back, have had, like, a dreamless sleep for what seems like 12 hours. Like, they both just passed out.
Yeah. Just fully conked. No thoughts.
No
just
thoughts.
Sleep.
Just sleep. Which honestly is a mood.
God, I wish that were me.
For real, right? Because they both mention that it's like a really dark space in comparison to their bedroom. And the way that it's described, it sounds a lot like a, I don't know why, but this reminded me a lot of like a daycare nap, where you would just, like, be knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
And you would wake up and it was just like, where am I? Like, just be gone. When they wake up, Jamie is like, it's all good. I talked to Jared last night. He's definitely going to stop picking on you. He promised. He pinky promised. So don't worry about it anymore.
So, what's the deal?
Yeah, I don't understand why you're giving me those eyes, Wanda. Because he pinky promised. What do you say? Yeah, his other hand was behind his back. I don't know if he was crossing his fingers, Wanda.
There's no way of knowing. There's no way of knowing.
No, Wanda, I don't know if he was crossing his toes. It'll be fine. He was pinky promised. I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah, and nobody's ever broken a pinky promise, so.
One of my favorite things about this, too, is that Wanda, like, wakes up Melanie and is like, hey, so you're human. You have an intuition or something. Do we trust this? Is this like a thing? And Melanie's like, I don't know. Like, this is the end of the world. We shouldn't trust anybody. Like, what are you talking about? Which I appreciated a lot. There's also very pure. So we had Cheetos last chapter. There's been a lot of food in this. Now that they came back from that hunt, but now we get into the perishable foods. This chapter, it's all eggs.
Oops, all eggs.
Oops, all eggs.
Emma Cullen has entered the chat.
These ones are cooked, though.
Okay, we're better.
They're, well, and I personally am of the belief that Emmett's were also cooked. These, instead of being hard-boiled, were scrambled.
Yes. Right.
But Emmett can still be here because both of these were of a weird texture. Instead of being hard-boiled, these are... Stephanie, I think, just likes weird eggs because this chapter... She likes to go on about weird eggs because these were rubbery, scrambled eggs. And she says that several times.
Ugh.
She keeps going on about this, like, bowl. And a bowl, first of all. Like, Jamie wants a bowl of overflowing, slightly rubbery scrambled eggs. And if that is not...
This hurts.
that is like my personal hell.
Yeah.
Ugh. I babysat a kid one time who only liked his scrambled eggs to be made in the microwave.
What?
I know.
What?
I think I was babysitting Satan. I'm not sure.
Honestly, I would lean towards yes on that.
Yeah, like no milk, no butter, just raw egg just made in the microwave. It's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. God. Listen, I have weird food things too, so like no shade, but also
right.
What the fuck?
But also you gotta set a limit somewhere. You know?
Right, exactly. There's a lot going on in the kitchen during this time, especially because the people are acting weird as shit. Mm-mm. What Wanda starts to pick up on is that they don't want Wanda to eat the eggs.
Yeah.
There is a very what it comes across as is that, like, there are now a lot of posters right. in the kitchen that say, Wanda. It's just like Wander's face crossed out and it says no eggs.
No egg.
No eggs. No egg.
Sorry. No eggs for Wanda.
No eggs for Wanda. Wanted. Egg. No. Yeah, there's... Because the fact that it's, like, these perishable foods are in such limited quantity that, like, the humans want them. Alien, no, get egg. Which, listen, sure, whatever, I guess. But it's not just that, like, all of these humans are acting, like, really monotonous and really sad, but no one's talking about it. Like, also Jamie knows about it, but no one is being honest with Wander. And it's weird as shit because Wander's been doing all these chores. Mm-hmm. Been acting like part of the family for 6 weeks. Been talking to the crew, telling them all these stories. And now, overnight, is like, no egg. Also, no happy. What's going... Hello? Like, it's the weirdest thing. And no one's talking about it. It's very weird. Very confusing. Especially when, like, Ian comes in all of a sudden. Covered in dust. Yeah. Covered in sweat. Looking gross as all get out.
Right. Yeah.
Won't talk about why he is covered in dust.
Not important.
Won't talk about why he's covered in sweat. Won't talk about why everyone is sad.
Yeah.
Or why Wanda no get egg.
Right. Like, why Wanda no egg? Why?
Hey, Ian. Why no egg for Wanda? Huh? Why Wanda
what
no egg?
What did Wanda do? Did not deserve egg.
Why everyone sad? Also, why Wanda no egg? Interesting. And then Ian just like follows Wanda around for the rest of the day. Won't let Wanda carry around dishes. Won't let Wanda have no egg. And just whispers to her the whole day. That sounded creepier than it was. But it's just a weird chapter.
Yeah.
Ian just covered in dirt, talking to Wanda all day. Won't let Wanda have no egg.
Just, what is crimes? Crimes is being happening.
People are acting weird as shit. It's so weird.
And nobody's talking to each other.
And
so everyone just feels weird all the time.
Especially because near the end of this, too, Ian starts asking weird questions. Ian's asking Wanda, like, hey, so Jeb and Jamie, Jesus Christ, Jeb and Jamie were talking about how Melanie is, like, still in you. Is that true?
Right.
And Wanda was like, yeah, there's no point lying.
You got me.
Lying anymore. And so Ian was like, is that normal? And Ian starts to get, like, really sad all of a sudden. And it's like, so, is that normal? Hey, Wanda, if that were to happen to me, and if aliens took over me, would I still be in there? And Wanda's starting to get, like, really freaked out.
Right.
And is like, I mean, probably, just because, like, our kind don't really take over, like, human adults anymore.
Right.
So, like, probably. And also starts asking, like, well, what happens, like if they caught you, Wanda, what would happen? And it's like, okay, Ian, you're being really subtle here, bud. Wanda starts sharing, like, well, they'd probably put that seeker in that you saw before. And he's like, wait a second. You would be yourself again? He's like, well, yeah. I mean, I'm here,
Right. I'm vibing.
Melanie's there. Like, we're here. And he's starting to figure it out. And he's like, so wait a second. They, like, wouldn't like, end you?
Right.
And he's like, wait a second. So it's just, like, humans that are bad?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm starting to figure out this whole situation, I think.
Hold on. And so they're like, yeah. Well, I mean, like, our kind, we don't really have, like, capital punishment.
Right.
So, I mean, like, they could discard me. But, like, probably
Right.
not. I mean, I am, like, a traitor. What do you think, Ian? Ian's like, wait a second. Holy shit. I don't know. Like, you're kind of an expatriate, right? So, maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know that you've necessarily, like, betrayed them so much as you've just, like, chosen us. And Stephanie's like, hey, do you get it? Do you get it? Do you get the main idea of this story yet? I know that we're not 50% of the way in yet, but, like, for those of you reading this as your book group, do you get the main idea?
Let me just explain it really clearly.
Let me just go into this further.
I know we've been in this universe for thousands of pages at this point, but what if I let you know that there's a little bit of funky stuff going on here? A little bit of, like, tension, between these two different parties,
What if I told you that this had some bigger themes to it?
Whoa. What if there was a bigger picture that I'm trying to address here?
Anyways, they go back. They have dinner. It's the best cuisine of white bread, cheddar cheese, and lush pink bologna, aka the best daycare foods that I ever had growing up.
Yeah, that's a pretty good gamut of stuff.
Yeah, that was that good shit.
Top tier.
Add that with applesauce, and that was essentially what I grew up with, except for that we didn't usually have cheese. It was just white bread and bologna.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
They go back to the hole. Jamie's there. Wanda's there. Ian's there. And then, at the end, Jared comes back with a pan, with his fist, and he's clanging shit around. He raises his voice into the main plaza. It's the main cave, like, let's be honest.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, hello.
Anybody out there?
He's like, hello, Wanda. Call me. He's like who's that redheaded curly kid in Jimmy Neutron?
Oh, Carl.
Yeah, he's like Carl. He's like, hello.
Giving big Carl vibes, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's how the chapter ends. Jared, who I pretty much am listen, I know Jared is supposed to be like the hot hunk from this,
Yeah.
but you can't convince me that he's not Carl from
Right. Sorry. That's my headcanon and you can't change it.
Anyways, next week we have chapters 29 and 30
Ooh.
from the host.
Yes.
And we're not even halfway through. Like, this is just taking so long. But it's okay. We're getting there. We have a fantastic group of patrons to thank
Hell
this
yeah.
week. Would you like to start?
Absolutely. Thank you to Mallory Hardwick.
Pew, 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 pew.
Ooh.
What if I say these all like Carl?
Yeah. No, please don't. They pay us good
you.
money.
Thank you to Katie Black.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Kylie Minty.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Elizabeth James.
Ow, yes.
Ow, ow, ow.
Thank you to Jess Love.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you to Alex Dornan.
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, 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 pew.
Thank you to Carrie Goldberg.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you to Mickey Meyer.
Ooh, yeah.
Wow.
Shout out Zoe Steele.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Rebecca Cullen.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
Thank you to Amy Taylor.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Molt Gray. Ouch.
Thank you to Taylor, Brown, Town, Lautner.
Woo!
Ooh.
Thank you to Aaron Weber.
Oh, yes.
Pew, pew, pew.
Thank you to Gwen Stanley.
Woo, woo, woo. Thank you to Jasmine Anastasia.
Ooh, yes. Thank you to Bailey Christian.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you to Jay Molina.
Ooh. Thank you to Cassandra Bomer.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yes.
Thank you to Toussaint Wanderer. Wow, wow, wow.
Thank you to Kristen Strider.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to our mom, Kelly Beck.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Aaron Salinger.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh,
Ooh.
yes. Thank you to India Peach.
Pew, 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 pew.
Uh.
Thank you to Casey Yorkie.
Boing, 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 boing. Thank you to Sarah Blythe.
Pew, 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 pew. And last, but certainly not least, thank you to Laura Forty.
Boing, 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 boing.
Pew, 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 pew. Honest to God, I think that all of you, like, these are your last names. Like, if I ever
Yes.
met you all in person and you
Yeah.
didn't tell me that this was your last name, I'd be like, who? Like,
Yeah, right.
I personally am of the belief that this is your legal last name.
Yeah, and that's our gift to you.
And that's the gospel truth.
Yeah.
100%. I have a fan fiction for you today
Hell yeah.
that was sent to us by our unofficial intern. Welcome back to the Stewed.
Hell yes.
Taylor Browntown Lautner.
Mm.
I'm so excited that it's a fan fiction that I did not find, because that means that it's good. This is by Lucky Honey Bunny,
I love
and
it.
this is titled Mean Twilight. This is a crossover of Mean Girls and Twilight.
Nice. Fabulous.
It was published on December 5th of 2012. And it is 480 words. I will be reading an excerpt of it for you today. I do not know if this person is a English language learner.
Mm-hmm.
Like if English is not their first language. Because there are quite a few spelling errors.
Mm.
Personally, I think that it adds to the spice
Sure. Yeah.
of this. So we're going to lean into it.
Great.
But I personally love this. So
Amazing.
I'm going to read this now. As Alice and Jasper approach the table where the awkward couple plan, Jane and Bella, a pro Starker, Edward sat. Edward, we need to talk to you, Alice said as her and Jasper sat down. Completely ignoring know-it-all Alice, Edward turns to Bella and asks her, "Is reindeer a real animal?" "Yes," she replied. She liked being right, especially when it came to talking to a fucking old-ass vampire who magically is always enrolled in high school. You know, after all these years of going to high school, you'd think he'd finally make it to UCLA or something. These were the thoughts that troubled Bella as she sipped her Diet Coke. What college will I get into? Who's going to be America's next top model? The normal teenage stuff. Jasper rolls his eyes in disgust as Alice sat straight up to make her point heard. "Ed, you're wearing gray button-down shirt." Alice already knows the outcome of this conversation, but goes for the kill anyways as she leans in close to him and Bella, then whispers in the most bitch way possible, "It's Monday." Edward looks up from his Animal Planet magazine, of which he would use as a menu since he was a hipster vampire, and knew that eating animals was the new vegetarian. So, Jasper successfully kept the thug within from cutting a bitch and calmly said, "So it's against the rules and you can't sit with us." Edward, being the little bitch he is, egged Jasper on. "Whatever, those rules aren't real." "They were real when I wore an Ed Hardy shirt." Jasper sat back. "Because that shirt was disgusting," Edward claimed in the utmost annoying voice the world had ever heard. Alice slams the table. "You can't sit with us," she yells at the top of her lungs. End scene.
Wow.
It's the best piece of literature I've ever seen.
That honestly deserves awards.
It's
beautiful.
It's hard to focus, really. My eyes are stinging. I'm getting a little bit emotional from how beautiful this is, actually. So thank you for sharing it with us. Also, I hadn't thought about Ed Hardy in over a decade, so thank you for that gift.
Yeah.
It really brings me back to my roots, my Jersey Shore, my Italian roots. So thank you for that gift.
Hell
really.
yeah.
I appreciate it. So, you know what? I hope that you fill out your bingo boards, share them with us on Twitter, as always.
Please.
We want to see them every single week. Don't miss.
Yes.
We will have someone be checking in on your progress for sure. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
Get whipped.
Ooh.
Ow!
Oh, nice.
I don't know why that one sounded like a fucking ow.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. Our theme music is by Eli Krauss, and our artwork is by Maddie Padilla. Follow the show on Twitter at Into the Twilight, and support us on Patreon at patreon.com/intothetwilight. Send us an email or a fanfiction at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. You can find Allie at Into Wild Places and me at Cody Currow.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.